You hire a lawyer and you want to know how long will my case take. We're going to figure that out next. Welcome to Attorney911, the podcast. With attorney Ralph Manginello. Let's get some answers to the most asked questions. We break down the legal issues and provide expert advice to help you navigate life's legal challenges. You might even call us your first responder to a legal emergency. Up next, real-world cases, valuable insights, and practical tips you can use today. It's time to get smart like a lawyer. Ralph, this is a question that I'm sure you're asked a lot. You're hired, you're about to be hired, and folks want to know, how long is this going to take to wrap up? I want resolution here. I'm already tired of this. How long is this going to take? And I'm sure it varies from case to case, but explain that.
Yeah, it definitely does, Ray. It's a tough question to answer because there's so many different types of cases that someone could have. They could have a personal injury claim, like in a car wreck. They could have a criminal defense matter. They could have a family law matter, probate, breach of contract. There's tons of different types of cases, landlord-tenant. So to break it down, if, for example, in a personal injury car wreck case, if it's a simple small, what we would call, in our business, a small fender bender, which, probably everyone that's watching or some of our fans have had, like where someone might, barely rear end you at a red light. Those typically will take less than 6 months, between 3 and 6 months, I would estimate. Now, if it's a bigger case, a medium to heavy hitting case where there's a lot of property damage and the injuries would be more significant, it's going to take longer because most likely the person that's injured is going to take longer to get treatment and longer to heal up. And so, and then once the case goes into litigation, if there's going to be a trial, that can take up to nowadays 3, 4, even 5 years. So it just really depends in those kind of cases how bad the collision was and how significant the injuries are. And then, if the case is in litigation, how fast the courts are moving. With regards to a criminal defense case, again, it's going to vary depending on severity of the charges. If it's a shoplifting case, for example, there's tons. You'd be really surprised, maybe not, but that's the most prosecuted type case in Harris County in Texas is shoplifting and petty theft. There's thousands and thousands of them. If it's someone's first offense, they can go to court maybe one time, and if they wanted to plead guilty and take whatever punishment was they were being offered, then they could be done within a few weeks. They do have programs down there. The DA offers pretrial diversion where if it's your first offense, they'll let you take an anti-theft class. You take the anti-theft class, you get a certificate, you turn it in, and they dismiss the case. But if you have multiple thefts, your case may last longer. So that's the simplest version. But someone who's charged with, let's say, manufacturing intent to deliver a controlled substance, which is, a felony, their case may last a year, 2 years, because their defense lawyer has to gather evidence, the state's gathering evidence, they're going to exchange evidence, there's going to be court hearings, they're going to, a good defense lawyer would probably try to suppress the evidence against their client. So much more motion practice and evidentiary, deep dive. And so that could take up to years. Probate matters take quite a long time. I would say, you're looking at least 9 months at the minimum to maybe 2 years. Family law takes a long time because the courts are so backed up. There's so many family law cases in Harris County and, throughout the nation with custody battles and divorces. So it really depends on the case. The best thing to do is contact a lawyer that is specialized in the area that the potential client has a case in, whether it's personal injury, criminal defense, bankruptcy, probate, whatever, and get their opinion on it. And if you can't find help that way, always contact Attorney911 because if Attorney911 can't help you, we'll find someone who can.
You just learned something new. Attorney911, the podcast, with attorney Ralph Manginello. We hope you found today's conversation insightful and helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to the show so you'll never miss an episode, and share it with family and friends who might benefit from the things we talk about. A new podcast launches every week. That means you get more legal tips, real-life cases, and expert advice. This is Attorney 911, the podcast.